Another main use of functions is we use them in code when they are very repeatable, so we can use them for code that we use over and over again. So what we're going to do in this repeat functions program is we're going to create a simple table, and then what we're going to do after that is we'll be using a function in a place where it really makes a lot of sense. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put our table beginning, so cout.setf ios colon left. Okay, and we're gonna cout.width. I've already measured these out, so I'm not going to use constants which is what I normally do to represent column widths. So we're going to do a 15 here. So cout.width 15, and what we're going to do is so we're going to list different prime ministers just with a little bit of information here. So this would be a cout prime minister. This is the heading row, so I'm going to do a cout.width of 13, and this will be the party, and cout.width and we'll do 7 here, and this one will be years. So this is going to represent the amount of years that they have spent in office, and then what I'm going to do is I will cout and L cout. Now what I'm going to do here is I am going to make a gigantic row of stars, and then followed by an end L. So what I'll do is I'll just test this out, measure it for length. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this bar at the end of each one of my rows. So I'll run this just to see what it looks like. Okay, so I've got prime minister, party, years. I can probably cut off, let's say, about 5 stars from this. So just kind of eyeball it. There's no right or wrong for this. And then we're going to do is we're going to include the second row. So I'll just put 3 recent, quote unquote, recent prime ministers, although they do go back pretty far. So we'll start with Stephen Harper, who is a member of the Conservative Party and was prime minister for 9 years, 9 and change, but we'll just keep it easy that way. And then what we're going to do is we will put our divider here, and then we're going to repeat the row information for the prime minister that preceded Stephen Harper, which is going to be Paul Martin, who was Liberal and served for 2 years. And then we'll put our divider here again, just a little bit offset. And then we'll put the previous prime minister, Jean Chrétien. However, we'll not bother with the accent on his name, who served for a period of 10 years. And then I'm going to finish it yet again with my divider. Okay. There we go. So now let's take a look at what this looks like. So what I've got is I have all of my information lined up. I feel maybe like I need an extra space here, but this is just a really simple example. So I've got the name of the prime minister, which party they were a member of, and how many years they were prime minister. So now what I want to do is I want to take a look at my code and see what would make sense to turn into a function. So things are being repeated in a little bit of different ways here. So the part of my code that is repeated every time is this divider thing. So the important thing here to create a void function is it doesn't require any information. It just does an action and doesn't require any parameters in terms of like how it's going to accomplish that. So this is a perfect example of somewhere where we would use a function. So I'm going to do void. We'll do divide. And then all we're going to do is we'll move these two lines of code up into that function. And then anytime I want to use that, I'm just going to put in the line divide. So I'll copy that and then replace these sections with divide, and now I will get the exact same result. There we go. The only thing is that my code is a lot faster because it has divide. So I mean, I know I did a copy and paste, but if I need this later for even a different program, I could reuse this. Now, we can do this for the dividing line, but we can't quite do it yet for this. We're going to have to learn one more thing before we would be able to do it to this section of the code, because you can see that this is not the exact same thing as this, although they are similar. And there is a way to create a function that will handle this. They are not identical, so we won't use a void function in order to replace this.